What's up, my two-piece family podcasters? What it look like? We are now on to the next episode, the next journey. Thank you for joining. This is a special episode for me. Super excited. Couldn't really sleep since I got these confirmations of this episode. I got two masters sitting next to me who will make you dance your shoes off, who will make you mess up your pedicures, who will make you need some Bengay and some icy hot on the knees.
She make it sound good, though.
But I'm gonna tell you what, they don't need no introduction. Welcome, 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 DJ Blackman and DJ 06. Welcome to the show.
Yeah,
Welcome to the show.
We appreciate you, good
Welcome
sis.
to the show. Welcome to
You
the show.
sure do know how to make folks.
Listen here, sir.
Who's she talking about, the Kid Capri?
No, y'all my Kid Capri. Cause I'm gonna tell you what.
All right.
First time I went to a party with 06, I danced all night. Shoes came off in
Right.
the middle of the floor. Had a nice fresh pedicure. Woke up the next morning, knees aching, back hurting. Looked down at my feet, my two big toe pedicure was done. And I could not feel my thighs. I had no idea what was I doing until I looked at the videos and the pictures, and I'm like, who does that?
I want to see the video.
I was getting it. But you was getting it though. With them sets, and you was going back to back to back. When I was ready to sit down, you just kept going.
Show me
How
the
you
video.
do that?
Show me the video of the
Oh, I'll
toes.
show you the video in a minute.
I want to see the toes
Crossed over.
Yeah, I want to see that part.
Okay, I got you on that. And then when I heard Stacy for the first time, I was very young in Charlotte. After I graduated from college, I can't remember if it was the Forum
Was it
or
Pink
Sugar
Groove?
or
Was that
Sugar Shack.
Was that Pink Groove?
It was one of those events at one of those arenas. And
Okay.
you went in so hard the last 30 minutes.
Okay, all right.
I broke my heel on my shoe.
Ooh.
I'm sorry.
I was mad. Can I still send you that bill?
No.
Oh, damn. Well.
I'll cash app it to you.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate you. So let's just jump right in. You figure out who want to start, but what got you in to DJing?
That's up to you. 'Cause-
Since I'm a little older than you, I'll start first.
All right,
Yeah.
go ahead, Stacy. Go
and
ahead.
you are the gatekeeper for me when I came to Charlotte. So your story is first.
So you the foundation.
Yeah.
So go
my
ahead.
God. Just give it to the old guy. Okay. I'll take the ball and run with it. For me, it was my mother's record collection. I remember, I don't know if you remember what a 45 is.
I know what a 45
When you
is.
put the little thing in the middle.
Uh-huh.
And I just remember hearing some incredible music. And, you know, I kind of grew up in the kind of hood, not all the way hood, but I could honestly say listening to that music at like the 7th, 8th grade kept me in the house.
Okay.
I would listen to it, and it just kind of, I like this. You know, I'm kind of an introvert, believe it or not. And my mother's collection is really what started my DJ career. I mean, I'll emphasize on that a little bit later as we move on, but
Yeah.
if you're just asking me what got me started, it was my mother's 45s record collection.
Okay. So
70s
after the
music.
45s, then you crossed over. How did you get into DJing at the radio stations and stuff like that? Or being a DJ at the radio station? Was that a full-time job for you, or was that part-time? Or because like my dad, he used to DJ at WPAL in Charleston, South Carolina.
I know that station.
Absolutely, with
Right.
Bill Saunders and some wonderful
Legends.
legends there. You know, Frankie the Big Bopper, Bob Nichols, you know, Phil LaRoche, rest his soul. He used to spin records on Sundays from 2 to 6. And that was my first time seeing the inside of a radio station. Didn't know how it worked. So I got to get to sit with him on Sundays. That was our daddy-daughter time. And I would hear him on the radio and be excited and be like, that's my daddy. And then, I got to meet some people at the radio station. I got to meet the Whispers.
Oh, how far you talking? We in the 80s, early
I
80s?
was born in the 1900s.
No, but you said-
76s.
The Whispers was 70s and early 80s. So
yes.
You, okay.
I was around then.
Well, I mean,
I got to meet the twins. With
the mustache.
With the mustaches. And I got to meet Cheryl Pepsi Rowley.
okay.
Got to meet, just some local celebs. So that's how I found out about how the radio works and everything like that. But enough about me. So 6, how did you get started?
Well, my beginning was in West Virginia. My sister dated a DJ that was from New York. In West Virginia, there's not a lot of diversity there. However, my neighbor was connected with all the Kid Capri, Ron G, Funk Master Flex, all your legendary DJs. He gateway brought that flavor to West Virginia, and while they were dating, it privied me to some exclusive music that just wasn't on our regular radio stations, and it gave me exclusive content to build a fan base because I had something that wasn't rare. I mean, it wasn't something common.
Yeah.
And so, with my relationship with him,
Now look at you, Stacy.
Sorry.
I went to college, and that platform, it was I went to Marshall University, predominantly white
The
college.
Herd.
Yes, yes.
We used to beat up on y'all in college, by the way.
Oh, that was a great
Appalachian State.
That was a great ambition. Marcia killed
Go
Appalachian
App.
State.
Go App in the mountains.
We always played them for
On the
homecoming
rock.
just so we could show how we drug them. But anyway, when I went to Marshall, I took this content of music and I met other people from New York, Florida, and I expanded my DJ career at Marshall. And then when I left college and came to Charlotte, from those humble beginnings, my neighbor was a DJ. Rest in peace, Donald Parker, aka DJ Slice.
Slice.
Yeah, and he introduced me to Stacy, Cheryl, Marvin Ross, Terry Avery, the V11.9
Marvin Ross.
family.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he introduced me to Stacy, and Stacy I hold dear to my heart because Stacy had a platform in Charlotte back in the day, the V Lounge or Varga,
Varga.
Fourth and Popular, and
That was old Charlotte, y'all.
Yes.
That was when Charlotte
In the
was
late 90s.
Late 90s, easy stuff. Easy stuff.
yeah, and I petitioned, hey, Stacy would DJ downstairs first to start the night off. And then at that time, Uncommon Jazz, which most everybody's familiar with, was Shablique. And his band, Devin, there's a whole bunch of them.
Yeah.
They were upstairs performing. And so when they would finish their piece, Stacy would transition upstairs. And so I petitioned, I said, well, since nobody is downstairs, how about me using this platform to introduce myself to the city? And that platform alone started allowing me to grow my fan base, shake hands with Charlotte, and the rest is history.
Absolutely.
He also introduced me to my extended family, Tempo.
Right.
Stacy,
Wilkinson Boulevard.
yes,
Wilkinson Boulevard.
Stacy was an established presence in Charlotte. There was a place, Big Plays.
Oh my God.
Stacy had
Oh gosh, I forgot about Big Play.
and Jody had the Breakfast Club. Stacy had a place there.
Breakfast Club was upstairs, right?
Right, that's right
Okay,
across
yep.
from the Spectrum Center.
Spectrum Center, yep.
So Stacy was all over the city, but one thing I love about him is if he could trust you, he would put you on, and
That's good.
That character of him has never ceased. To this day, there are other DJs host myself that Stacy has just gateway an opportunity to shake hands with
Yeah.
the city. And those opportunities allowed me to create my own
Look
lane.
at you, Stacy,
I
being,
appreciate that.
being a
Yeah.
beacon of light. Look at that.
Literally.
Look at that.
I'm out there to get a royalty check from you or something.
I'm just saying though, but you, when I was in college, we would, for some reason, my room would only get Power 98 and V101.9. No other station. And I'm just like, it got to be more than 2 stations in Charlotte.
Right.
It got to be. But I would listen to Power 98 in the morning with Nate Quick and all
Oh,
of them.
man.
Yeah, oh yeah,
Yep,
yeah.
you know, with all of them. And then in the afternoon, I would listen to B101.9 for the rest of the afternoon until it's time for me to go to band practice. And I would listen to you in the afternoons, and I'm just like,
5 o'clock.
5 o'clock traffic
Yeah.
jam. And I would rock out to that. Sometimes I would be late for band practice. I would be doing push-ups because of you. Because I'd be late, I'd be like, I can't leave before he getting it. I'm gonna just do these extra 25 push-ups. And then when I graduated and became an adult, where I can go to clubs and drink and hang out and be grown, I started hearing you at different places.
So what was your first experience with me? Vintage on the Boulevard? Do you go back
Vintage,
there?
that would
Oh,
vintage on the boulevard,
Oh,
baby.
Independence.
Yeah, Independence
That
on the
was,
corner, Independence and Albemarle Road.
Yeah.
That was
Yes.
late 90s, I think.
That's
Yes.
right.
All
That's right. That's right.
right.
It was what is it? Friday nights?
Yes.
It was Friday nights or Saturday nights?
On Friday night, there was something different going on up in there.
What was going on? No, that was Thursday nights. That was Thursday.
That
That
wasn't
was
strip
late.
night?
No, that was ladies lock up. Thursday nights with the body.
That wasn't the
snatchers.
ladies lock up?
No. That was
'Cause I-
Thursday night with the body.
Now, I wasn't in there on Thursday. I don't do, I couldn't, that's the one event that I could not do.
Strippers.
Strippers.
You couldn't do strippers. It was too much.
It was too much.
We're gonna talk about that in a minute.
Yeah, we'll talk about it.
But no, it was Vintage on the Boulevard on a Friday night. Me and my girls, they were like, "We're gonna take you to the club," and I'm just like, "Okay." Got to the Vintage. It was, for me, it was really nice. They had the little marquee outside, said Vintage on the Boulevard, and went in and had some drinks, and you came on and you just went into the music, and I'm just like, okay, it's good.
Okay,
You know?
all right,
And
all
you
right.
went into different sets, but it wasn't like choppy and just messed up and like, oh, I gotta go sit down now because he ain't playing the right song, and then I'll get up later. It was like, when I tried to get off the floor, you kept playing something I want to keep dancing to, and I stayed on the floor.
Okay.
So that was a great experience. So when the next like couple of weeks, I was like, I want to like listen to wherever he's mixing at. So I would just stay on V101.9
Right.
all the time.
I appreciate that. Appreciate that.
Definitely. And then of course, 06, you know, he's my frat brother.
1119.
Oh, 6, 08.
Oh yeah.
I ain't gonna tell you what I used to yell out in the club.
Oh, you
There's
had
a-
something?
There was
What was it?
there was a word that rhymed with 6, but I ain't gonna say it. I would say,
You can.
oh.
You can say it.
Every
You can
time,
say
every
it.
time he would hit a hot mix, I'd be like, oh, but it wasn't 6.
So I met 06 at probably an Alpha event. Who knows?
Luau
But
is where I
was
connected.
is that where I connected with you?
Oh my God. I would say that Luau was
Probably
where I
the-
connected with a lot of them.
The infamous.
That was your first big
Alpha
event. What was your
Luau.
first? What was your first big event? Like
Yeah, that
when you
just
had-
like
when
you
you had-
knew all the way up.
when you had 500 people in front
Like
of
you
you
actually-
at least.
I got to tell you that. So after I was at V Lounge Varga, there was a place in the university area. It's today called First and Gold, but then it was called Screens.
Screens.
The owner was Keith. Keith had Uncommon Jazz there, and then they had a DJ. So Keith heard me play at V Lounge and invited me to play at Screens.
Okay.
So people in Charlotte who know Screens, they know I'm going way back now. I was DJing at Screens, and to answer your question, There was the promoter is Dynasty 5. They're out
Yeah,
of
okay.
Raleigh,
Durham.
Durham.
Yes.
Raleigh, yeah.
The guy said, "Yo, you're killing it." He said, "For CIAA, we having Chuck Brown and Dougie Fresh, and I want you to open up for Chuck Brown." And I was like, "Are you
Really?
serious?" And so I just brushed it off. I didn't take it for face value. But we exchanged numbers. Then CIAA rolled around, and I get this call, and it was from Dynasty 5, and they said, "Are you ready for the weekend? You ready to open up Friday? It's going to be at the Omni Hotel." That was
Uptown.
Yes.
Oh.
I forget. I'm not sure if it's the Omni now.
It's still Omni.
But
Yep.
it's at the Omni Hotel. He said sound check is like at 4 o'clock. And I literally got to meet Chuck Brown and the Soul Searchers.
Oh, wow.
And that was my breakout of a huge event. And Chuck gave me a shout out. He did.
Nice.
He said, big ups to DJ 06 opening up. He said,
Absolutely.
you were trying to kill people out there.
See?
Yeah.
Icy
But
hot.
that was
I'm
my
telling
very
you.
first. And there's one other platform that I did. It was called the Brothers of the Night. This was in South Park. It was a group of about 5 guys. Cornell, Smith, it was a whole bunch of them. They used to have where all the men and women would come together in the city and discuss relationships, and then they would have food, and then after that open forum, then the DJ would come on. That ended up being
That was
another
you.
snowball.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Brothers of the Night.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Chuck was my big breakout
Right. Nice.
with Dynasty 5.
Okay.
Nice.
All right.
But I follow them equally. I love them equally. They give me a good, different feeling equally. Stacy can really mellow you out to where you just like good vibes, good grown folk music. But then he can amp it up just a little bit for you. 06, he just
Yeah.
goody powder, Gatorade.
Leave your weave on the floor.
You
Your weave will
know,
be on the floor.
Advil, Aleve, you know.
But so you're not 50 yet. When you hit
I'm not 50 yet, but I'm telling you, several times 06 has done things to parties that just make no sense. Like, he would do our soirees in December and our Pearl Jams and June parties, and even going to some. I went to one Jingle Jam.
Oh my God. Jingle jam.
And I was like, oh yeah, I could drive back home. This ain't Concord. I can get on 485 and drive back home that good old 47 minutes. No. I was done. I literally was on a guy's back. He was carrying me to the front desk, and I said, ma'am, Miss Ma'am,
Get a room.
do you have any rooms left? And she said, I do. I said, I'm not trying to pay no kidney and lung for this room, but a sister can't drive. I can't feel my feet. I don't even know where my keys at. Can I please? And I said, I got my wallet. She said, no problem. Got me into a room. I laid so still because 06 had me dancing the whole night. And then the thing was, when the lights came on, he was still playing music. I was like, dude, what are you doing? I can't dance no more, but I'm still dancing. It was enough. It was enough. He will make you really use your medical plan and your co-pays of 35 and 45 and flexi spending. So let's talk a little bit about, you know, old Charlotte versus new Charlotte now. When we had all of these great clubs like Champs and Vintage on the Boulevard and the Forum, Fat Tuesdays and the Arena and Sugar Shack and these things, you know, these places now versus now we just have Press Box and, you know, these other small places that are restaurants that are turning into clubs versus clubs. How do you all feel about the doing those types of things? And then also your crowd that you're bringing in, when you bring in crowds and you put on your Facebook and Instagrams and things like that, you attract, I know you attract a lot of women and things of that nature to come out.
Who?
What do you do for that to get more people out? Because you both have good following. So I think I give you a loaded question. So let's just go back. Let's talk about clubs versus parties.
The contrast of
Not even just old Charlotte versus new Charlotte, just anywhere you go, because you have a variety of places that you go, out of state, things of that nature. Let's talk about those type things. How do you feel about private parties versus clubs?
Well, for me, the transition has been the bigger the venue, the more people dance. If it's more of an intimate setting, like sports bars and lounges, which is pretty much Charlotte now, there's not too many big clubs left. So the emphasis, people come out later. I think people come out now just for the social part of it. But back in the day,
It was just to have a good time.
it was to have a good time and dance. Dancing was cool back in the day.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily that important now, unless a female. Most guys would dance trying to get a female's attention.
Yes.
Really?
Most guys don't.
Now,
If
Well,
you,
no, back then.
back then.
back then, guys liked to dance. I mean, it was part of our social thing. But now it's more like women kind of control the dance floor. So if you
Okay.
see a woman out there and you're trying to get her attention, you better go out there and dance with her. You know, you can get a vibe with her. But as time moved on, it became more of I'm just out here
Just
enjoying.
standing around.
Look, yeah, and that's a DJ's worst nightmare.
Yeah, a show, it became an exhibit. People wanted to exhibit their fashion. They wanted to exhibit their arrogance. They wanted to exhibit their exterior
Okay.
rather than the vibe of
Just going to enjoy with the flow of the music.
Yeah.
And I think that's where, and I don't want to get into what's a good DJ and what's a bad DJ, but you know, good DJs, we feel the music, we're able to create the vibe. Now, this right here, and so many other DJs are allowed to get through those little cracks to where I'm not gonna downgrade our craft, but some DJs can have awesome social media skills and create a vibe versus the technical mixing part.
Right.
And I think
right.
I would say maybe 09, 010 is when the crowd became more sociable and the cell phone technology got
Social
crazy.
media craze.
Going live to where the
Yeah.
DJ weren't as appreciated as it was back in
In the early
80,
90s.
well, I'm
80s, 90s.
80s, early 90s,
Right,
where you
right.
really came to have a good time and dance. So
right.
that's been my experience.
Like, for example, y'all remember from at CJ's?
Oh,
At-
yeah.
People dance.
DJ Ram,
You
yeah.
remember Ram, DJ Ram. You remember Cowboy?
Oh, with you!
Yeah.
With the-
Cowboy?
Yeah.
He
Steve.
Big Steve, Cowboy
he
Steve. Yeah.
would dance that whole night,
Yes.
walking around, greeting women, saying hi to guys, and getting you on the dance floor.
Mm-hmm.
Like you said, now people just want to stand around in the middle of the dance floor while music is going on and people are trying to dance just to be seen.
Well, there's
And
some-
not enjoying what you're actually playing.
No, there's something that has changed drastically. Back then, we didn't have the large desire for VIP. Everybody went to enjoy the experience. Today, you know, the social scenes of clubbing has evolved into the exhibition of VIP.
Okay.
Most places will have a place where the elite will be, you know, seen or on showcase versus the appreciation back in the day. And
So
then
it's all about the bottles, the showgirls
Yes.
coming into the area versus showcasing your DJ and the dance floor and the people there.
And that energy was needed because the cost to host an event has increased.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
So
yeah.
therefore, those elements contributed to cover your overhead, to be in certain spots, to pay your security, cover your radio advertisement, cover your DJ.
Yeah.
So that's a major evolution. back in the day, we didn't have as many financial overhead demands as today. And then over years, the cost per square foot increased, so people had to find out how to afford that.
Compensate that.
Correct.
That's just the business part of it. You know,
Yeah.
they say you got to pay to play.
Yes, you
yes.
do. You
So,
do.
and then people come out late now. If you're in a nightclub environment, people don't. If the hours are 9 to 2, people don't come out to 12 o'clock.
11, 12.
So that 9 to 12 is a very dark
Slow
area,
part.
and I respect any promoter, club owner out there. That 9 to 11 o'clock time frame when you're not making hardly any money, and that's why they focus on the sofas, the bottle service. That balances it out. So it's just been a revolutionary type game changer.
Yeah.
As far as now, private events are my thing, and
You like
Yes,
private events. You
yes.
like private events.
private
Yes.
events start
Tell
at
me-
7 o'clock.
Tell us about private events. Tell us
Seven.
about
If your
events.
private event starts at 7 o'clock, people in there about 7:15.
Absolutely correct.
Everybody knows each other. You don't need no security. 7:30, we usually eating. 8:15, maybe a few comments.
8:30, you time to turn it up.
Yes.
Get it
Hey.
going. Get it
Yes.
going.
Yes.
And guess what? At 11 o'clock, the music coming
Tired.
down.
We tired. We
12
ready to go
o'clock,
home.
we at Netflix.
Yes.
And that was a good
No,
night.
y'all
Yes.
playing Reasons,
And that's a-
Earth, Wind, and Fire.
No, at 12 o'clock, I'm at home at a private event. But, I mean, I enjoy my private events now. Being
Right.
an older statesman, I enjoy my private events.
So let me ask you guys about this. When the pandemic happened, I know
Ouch.
everybody had to be creative, and definitely the legend D Nice started Club Quarantine,
Yes.
which was I think,
Phenomenal.
genius.
Yes.
And he started Club Quarantine like just out of just, I wouldn't even say boredom, but he needed an outlet to
Stay
get his
connected.
thoughts out, to stay connected to the people. And he started Club Quarantine, and there were times that people just couldn't connect, but music connects people all the
Yes.
time.
Yes.
So during especially the very beginning of the pandemic, in 2020, where things were locked down, closed out, and things like that, how did you guys connect with your fans and your fan base, and how did you stay grounded during that time?
I'll let you go.
Oh my gosh, I remember that like it was yesterday. My date was March the 7th, 2020. We had just did our party at Stats for Shalini Thompson. And
Okay, I'm not sure.
the following week was going to be the Mayor's Ball at the Westin. And then the week after that was going to be UNCF's
Oh, the foundation ball.
yes.
Because I had tickets for that. Yeah.
And after post Shalini's event at Stats on that Saturday, that Sunday I got a call and said, due to COVID, the Mayor's
down.
Ball has been canceled. And then that Thursday that week, I got another call that says the UNCF ball has been canceled. And so then it just started following. So all of my events that, I was dependent upon start canceling, and I was panicking. I didn't know what to do. That was a total shocking
Yeah.
experience for me.
Yeah. So how did you during that time connect with your fan base to keep them engaged? Because I remember there was a time that when we started to open up just a little bit, well, not even before opening up, during the shutdown, you went live
Yes. Well, that's
just to do a 30-minute quick music thing, and people were like, no, come back, and you were like, no, I'm just doing 30 minutes or whatever. And then you did it again, and everybody started coming back on because it brought people together, and you did it live, and it was good.
Yeah,
I mean, it
that's
was
a-
one of those things to bring your fan base together.
That's exactly.
And I think you had gone live just to say hello to your fan base and say, hey, we're gonna continue to get through this, and just to connect.
Right.
You know?
I can't remember who the DJ was that was DJing live on Facebook, but I have a very good friend of mine. Shouts out to my dude Gary. I went to him and I was like, "Hey," and he's an IT engineer, I was like, I want to go live too. So he came over to my home, and I told him what I want to do, and he fixed my computer to enable me to go live. And the first time I went, it was maybe like 30 or 40 people. But then the second time I went on, I started seeing crowds of 300-400 because those 40 people would
Started
then start.
sharing.
Yes.
started
It was on at
sharing.
lunchtime.
Yes.
Yes,
Lunchtime,
you at
I-
lunchtime.
Yes.
I was mad because I was in a meeting and I was like, man,
Yes.
on Zoom, I was like, man, I can't listen to this either.
Well, what ended up happening is I ended up getting blocked because all the teachers from CMS,
Was on there.
Yes,
Oh my God.
yes.
Thanks, CMS.
everybody started coming on live. It was the lunchtime mix. And before you knew it, the audience of viewers ended up getting into the thousands.
Oh, wow.
And
That's good.
that, I think that catapulted my connection with a lot of people. And that platform being online has seeded another reason why I'm as busy as I am today.
Good.
Because it broadcasts me out to everybody.
Yeah. What about you,
Well,
Stacey?
you
like you
did.
went,
Yeah,
you
you
went
were
live a
always
couple
on
of
live.
times.
Always-
Yeah.
anytime
Yeah,
I-
you went live a couple of times.
Anytime I went live, I tried to exercise my diversity in the music. You know, I'm not going to play like I'm in the club.
Right.
I would try to do a little more Latin music,
Yeah.
neo soul,
Yeah.
house. I'm a big house head,
Yeah.
by the way.
Yeah.
I did some go-go stuff. So without having the pressure of making people dance because I'm virtual, I decided to explore my versatility and my
Yeah.
true passion for what I do for our craft. So anytime I went live, I usually kind of went out the box, you know, just to see. And you know, financially, it's blessed me because now, you know, I've connected with some house heads,
Nice.
and believe it or not, my favorite style of music is Latin.
Is it?
I love Latin.
Suavemente.
I love Latin funk, jazz. I love live music.
Right.
Yeah.
So
I
a
love
lot of
live
people don't know
music
that
too.
about
Live
me.
music's good.
You'll catch me if there's some congos and a horn section
Oh
and all
yeah.
that.
Yeah.
That's where I'm gonna be when I'm not really spinning. And you know, the business part of it, we have to deal with the promoter and the crowd and the club owners. So I'll try to stay in the box. But the whole pandemic thing gave me an opportunity to play outside the box, and it's been a good thing for me because you already know what you're gonna get when I'm
Correct.
if you want
Correct.
to party,
Yeah.
you're gonna get that
Yeah.
all day. But
So-
you know, the whole just kind of chill vibe and the live music, the bands,
Yeah.
the more intimate connection. I was able to do that during the pandemic, and hey,
So you brought up this topic that I wanted to ask you both about, diversity. When you do events and things like that, I know you just don't do just African American events. You know, other people reach out to you. You do other cultural events and things of that nature. Tell me about how you, like you just said, you adjusted to the different, you know, Latin and house and go-go. How do you adjust to those different music cultures? How do you bring everybody, because everybody say music is a universal language, it brings everybody together. How do you correlate your craft into making the crowds feel welcome and happy when you're dealing with, you know, mainstream America or other multicultural orientations and things like that?
I think your question distinguishes the DJs that stay busy and those that don't. It's all about customer service.
So if you stay busy, that means
You are
hit
engaging.
every type
It- it-
of,
yeah.
Yeah.
of aspect
it's always
of culture.
it's always
Okay.
business first for me. I got bills
Yes.
to pay.
Yeah.
But if I have a connection with a certain organization, I'll usually give it a personal push. I'll say, hey, come out this Friday. I'm going to be playing a little bit of this, a little bit of that. I always emphasize it's not going to be your average party. That's up to the promoter, the club
put it out
owner to
there.
bring me in.
Okay.
I'll be engaging, but if I usually go on Facebook or Instagram, especially if I go vocal,
Right.
you know, I'll say, look, this is what it is. It's not going to be your same 100 songs
Right.
that I
right.
played last Saturday, which the crowd was off the chain. I'll say, I'm going to sprinkle a little Latin, a little reggae, a little Afro beats, and just that concept. 'Cause if you don't, you might get a shoe thrown at you.
Yeah, that's true.
Well,
And it's necessary to engage everybody.
Yeah.
So if you as a DJ come with a premeditated set and you do not you don't evaluate, okay, I see a pack of 3 ladies together. Don't play no Jaheim or no Next, cause ain't no girls gonna be dancing with each other. You wanna play stuff, your Beyonce, your A. Marie. You have to scan that room and engage the groups that you see.
so I would say like maybe last things that you want to, let me ask you this. I gotta ask. I call it the trifecta. And I think you both have played it and a bunch of DJs played it too. It's Jaheim, Just in Case, Next, Wifey, and the third song is, oh God, what's the third song? Whatever. That flows beautifully. And
That's the two-step.
so that's the 2-step trifecta? Okay, cause every time I'm like, you know what? When I hear one song, I'm like, oh, these other 2 coming. So certain things, you can play one thing and you know what next to play. How did you guys mix into that through trial and error? How did you learn how to mesh and, like you said, read the room? Because you read the ladies, you read what's dancing. If you got a lot of ladies, you're not gonna play no Migos or nothing like that. You're gonna play Cardi, you're gonna play Beyonce to keep the ladies on the floor. But then how do you get the guys on the floor to get to that?
Well, I already told you, I think I mentioned it before. The only reason I've lasted this long in this game is because I pay attention to women. You cannot be a great DJ in a club atmosphere and not play for women.
So we're the driving force for you.
If you play for the guys, you're gonna be in trouble.
Okay.
The promoter's not gonna be feeling you. The venue is not gonna be feeling you, and it's really a business decision first. If you want to be a DJ and do private parties for just your boys, it's all good. The longevity rule in this game is play for the ladies. In 06, you see light skin.
Oh, here we go with the light skin. Oh, Golden State.
Play for the ladies. I love my ladies. I love the energy on the dance floor. Anytime Kay hit the dance floor, I know I'm in good company. So that's just
And
the way it is.
anytime they play Best of Me, Anthony Hamilton, I'm on the floor regardless.
So you a two-stepper.
That's my dad. That was
Now,
me
back
and my
in the
daddy's
day-
song.
back
That
in
was
the
me and
day-
my daddy's song.
Back in the day, that vibe was not what I
It
saw
was
you
not.
out there.
But I mean, I get it now. When you
Don't
hit that,
stop, pop that tune.
No. nah, you play some of that, that heavy Miami. I'm good.
All right, I'm good.
I'm good.
We appreciate you, Kay.
Absolutely, I
Keeping our
appreciate
dance
it.
floor lit.
Hey, I do what I can.
All right.
I do what I can. So I want to thank my dudes, Stacey Blackman, DJ 06. Drop your tags where they can follow you and where they can find you. 06?
I am at the @ DJ, the number 06, single letter N in Charlotte. That's my Facebook and Instagram, DJ 06 in Charlotte.
And you can find me at STACEY Black Man. A lot of people say MON, but it's Stacey Black Man. Like Wakanda.
Wakanda forever.
Black man, Stacey
Black
Black
man. And as always, thank you for tuning in. Like, share, and follow me on Instagram and Facebook at 2Piece Podcast. And then, of course, subscribe to my YouTube page on YouTube, 2Piece Podcast. So, as always, where we going next? Shades on. Let's go.